Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, Painting with Harold. And I will start tonight by saying I apologize again for the camera. The SD card ran out again. I don't know what's going on. These are the same cards I've been using, and I delete every painting when I've uploaded it, so I don't know. I don't know if I got a setting off in my camera now or what's going on, but something's happening and it's getting frustrating for me. So I know it's frustrating for y'all. It just cuts off. I don't know where I was when it cut off, but it seems to me like was working on this tree. I don't know if the rocks were highlighted or not. I don't know if this grass was. This is not the final grass, but I don't know if I had this in. I think I was working on the cabin. I think I've got it darkened up, and if I wasn't working on the cabin, then I won't know till I go back and start uploading the video. But if you see anything up here that wasn't there when it turned off, that when it's here now, and you'd like to know how I did that part or whatever, just feel free to ask, and I will get into how I done it and all that. But I know this has got to be frustrating for y'all because, like I said, it's frustrating me. So tonight, I guess what we'll do is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me show you this, because this is dry now. There's no more liquid clear. So with that being said, I'm gonna get out a little liquid white because I don't care if I kind of want the watercolor to blend down some. So I'm going to take my fan brush and I'll pick up just a little bit of liquid white, and I'm going to come right up here and I'm just going to rub it on, and you can see how I'm doing it. It's pretty aggressive. I'm just scratching it in, and I'm going to come all the way up to the grass with it. Now all of that paint in that grass is not dry, but if we get a little bit of that yellow and green in the water down here, it's not a big deal because, well, for one thing, liquid white will cover it up, but another thing is it can always be a little reflection. All right, so with that little bit of liquid white applied, let me get the top back on this stuff, put it up before it decides it wants to get everywhere, because it don't take much. This stuff, if it gets on you, it just somehow or another finds its way to every crevice and in your body. Alright, now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to get up a little bit of that little blue on the brush, and I want to come in here and just work my way up to the grass. And you can see how the paint is, how that liquid white's already got it turning a different color. How it just dilutes it down. And like I said, that's not a bad thing right now. We kind of want that, because we don't want a real dark blue up here. I almost went back with liquid clear and was going to do like a turquoise type water. And I kind of talked myself out of that. So I'm going to stick with the blue with just a little bit of white in it. And you can see I'm trying to stay straight across here. And the reason for that is perspective, more or less. I don't want it to, I want it to be level with the earth, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because water has a way of doing its own little thing. And as long as we keep these strokes level in here, it'll look like still water. And that's fine. I mean, this water don't have to really look like a creek or a running stream or anything. It can just look like the little house is sitting right on the edge of a little pond or a little small lake or something. We'll leave that up to the viewer's imagination, whichever way they want to go with that. That's entirely up to the viewer, what they take away from it. My goal is just to let it be water. Whatever kind of water it is, that's up to y'all. But now if you do want this water running in your painting, by all means, you can make it look like it's running pretty easy. You just come in here with some white and give yourself some downhill swipes with that white, and just make it look like little waves. Like I don't remember which painting it was. We did a painting where we put the little waves in. Yeah, that white's mixing pretty good. All right, so see that right there kind of looks like running water. See how that white's looks like it's kind of just sloshing up. But that's not what I'm going for in this painting, so I'm just gonna fix that. And I'm gonna fix it with my 1-inch brush here. I'm just gonna come across here with level strokes, just like so. Just pull them in, and then some of this white that's out here can serve as reflections. That's fine. It can look like maybe part of the clouds or something. Alright, about like that. Then I'll knock some of the paint off the brush. Yeah, because we can use it up here a little later. Alright, now let's I think I'm going to put out a little bit more Van Dyke brown here. Okay. I guess we need to come into the water here. All right, first thing I want to do is I want to give that water kind of a bank look, like it's up against the bank here. So let me go ahead and do that right quick. All right, I'll take the Van Dyke brown I just put out, and I'll come right up here, and I'll just come right under here like so, where the grass meets it at right here, and I'll just put a little lip under it. down, like so. I could have done this with the knife. I may clean it up with the knife. I'll tell you what we'll do. I know exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn these into little rocks out here. That's what we're gonna do. I'm not even gonna attempt to do a bank tonight. It take too long, and I know y'all about to ready to give up on this video already. Because I've noticed I've got to a certain number of subscriptions, and it's just kind of locked down. It's not moving anymore. So apparently I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what, but something. But hopefully we get it figured out before too long. Come right in here with some. You can see how I'm doing this. I'm just tapping from the grass down toward the water and just giving it a odd shape here and there. Since these are rocks, I don't really care how they really come off the bank, because we can always fix that with other colors and stuff, the highlights. Because we can take this and bring the grass down over it when we start doing the grass, and just make the bank look like it's a rocky bank coming out here. There's all kind of things we can do. We may do that. Because we got some flat rocks up here anyway, so we just make these look like little flat rocks that stick out into the water. I think that's the way we'll go with it. We can always take and put us a rock out here in or a couple rocks out here in the water. Maybe one here, and maybe a little small one back here. Maybe another one over here toward the corner. Maybe one up here. Like so. Alright, let's pull this. We'll go ahead and start pulling some of this down, since we decided to make it look like a rocky bank coming in here. Alright, now I'm going to take this brush that I had. I'm going to get just a little bit of thinner on it, and We'll come back up here. I already got some yellow out because we've been using yellow for the past 3 or 4 days. Seems like this painting is never going to end. I know there's a lot of detail in this painting, I know that. But that's no excuse for my camera messing up. I'll tell you what, we won't. Yeah, we'll go ahead. We just bring this grass right down on some of the rocks. I'd rather use that little brush that we was using the other day for this. It just seemed to work so much better. Alright, so I'm going to get it back out. And this is that number 8 flat that we had the other day. I think it's just going to be a better brush for getting back here and there in these little tight spots. See how it just brings that grass down over that rocky bank like that. And you can bring it down a little further in spots, or you can stop it before it gets there. That's entirely up to you how much of it you want to go over your bank. And if you don't want it to go over the bank, it don't have to. It can go wherever you want it to go. I'm gonna bring some of this in here. But this is just like tapping the grass on with any other brush. Right, we got to keep our lay of the land here. About like so. I've got a an announcement I'm gonna be making in the next video, in the next painting I do after this one. So if you're a subscriber, be on the lookout for that video, because it's gonna be an announcement for subscribers only. So I'm trying to come up with a way to make the channel fun. So if y'all have any ideas on how I might could do that, please comment, what you think would be fun, or, something a little different than some of the other guys are doing. Something to kind of set it apart from, I don't want it to be not that I dislike their channels, I'm not saying that. But I'd like to be able to set it apart from the other channels, so it just don't seem so familiar, doing the things they do, because I'm sure they feel the same way, because once you go to painting landscape paintings, there's only so many ways you can paint mountains, trees, rocks, and lakes and stuff like that without eventually doing something that looks like somebody else's work. And this technique is just about all the same. Some of the guys have, like maybe a different brush that they use for something, or maybe a different way of using the brush. I had a subscriber the other day wanted me to do a video on how a brush could be used differently, and that would be an awesome video. But I got to thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know how long it would take to do a video like that, because I mean, you take a 1-inch brush, it can be used in so many different ways. 2-inch brush, I don't even know. I don't know how you would go about trying to show every use of a brush. I really don't know. I mean, because there's so many things you can do with them. You make trees. I mean, I don't even want to get into it. Not tonight. I want to get this painting done, because I know y'all, like I said, y'all have got to be frustrated with this one. I'm in a 5-part video, and I understand there's a whole lot of detail in this, using these little brushes, doing all these trees and the sky, and I mean, I know that there's a whole lot of detail, but I'm not trying to make excuses. That didn't have nothing to do with my camera cutting off, regardless of how much detail's up here. And that's why I'm doing the channel, so y'all can learn some of the stuff that works for me. And I would like to think that that's why you watch, to learn something new. And then you tune in to watch, and you get halfway through a video or halfway doing a step, and then the host just poof disappears without a word. Which y'all know is not like me. I always try to say good night. Y'all know that. But I'm sure it leaves you wondering, what happened to her? Where'd he go? I don't know, it's just frustrating, that's all. Especially when it's equipment that's been used already, you know, stuff that I wouldn't think would be causing them kind of problems. All right. I'm okay with the grass right there for now. All right, so let's go to work on the let me pick me up a little small brush here. I'm gonna get me a little bit of white. And a little bit of dark sienna. Kind of get me a tan color going on here. Then I'm going to come down through here and just kind of clean this. Kind of clean this bank up down through here a little bit. Give it a little highlight in places. Just to say I put the white on, then come back and work it in. And then in here I'll take and turn the brush a little bit. Kind of give this bank like a turn under effect. If you see how I'm doing that. I'm starting right here under the grass and just making like a backwards C. And just pulling it out. See that? See? That's all I'm doing. And then when it gets down here to the water, it looks like the bank is like it's just slightly slanted back here, and then as it gets over this way, see how this land kind of comes down and then starts leveling off. Well, right here it got steep on this bank, and it just looks like the bank's falling. I hope y'all can see that, and I'm sure I'm not saying it the way I need to be saying it, but hopefully y'all can see it, what it's doing under here. And the only way that's going to work is if you leave it a little dark, because you don't want no real bright highlights under here. I mean, if you're using like a tan color with a little dark in it, you can get away with this effect. But then once you start getting over here where the land starts getting level, quit doing the C and start pulling straight down. And then just kind of work that, as you go that way, just kind of work that angle out to where it starts pulling into the water. Straight from the bank. Like that. See? Then if you want the bank to look sandy, kind of sandy in spots, pick you up just a little bit of yellow ochre and bring into that color. And you can come in here and just sneak some in, in places. That's if you want that sandy look, And you don't have to do it, you don't have to do it everywhere. Just make sure when you pull it into the water, you got to lay your land back here in mind, because this is still the same land coming down in here. It's not, it's not new land. It's still the same. So this angle right here is still the same angle. It's just getting down there to the edge of the water and kind of playing out. And then back here it starts doing the little steepness thing. About like that. And then we'll go back and pick up our little grass brush again. We'll come back up in there yellow. And we'll just start bringing it down the bank some. Just in places here. It don't have to be everywhere. Just in a couple places. In fact, if it's not everywhere, it look more natural. About like so. And we can still get away with it up to right in here. Because this is where it's going to start coming back down the hill now. So this grass is not going to grow like that. It's not going to do that. All right. Then we'll come through here, just make it a little brighter in spots. Once it goes to picking up that dark color, it gets kind of harder to see. So now I'm going to show you how you can, when you get to that edge right there, how you can make that edge look more real looking. You can come in here to this yellow and pick up some of it on a fan brush. Now this fan brush actually had a little green or a little blue in it, so it's turning that some green, real light green. But you can come right up here to the edge and just kind of touch that grass up, kind of like so, and it'll just make it look like the grass got to the edge over here and just started hanging down in places. And that also helps with your steepness of the bank right there. And then right in here, maybe, since we got this fan brush, we'll put just a couple little, especially up around the rocks. We'll come over here around this one and we'll put up a little taller grass around that one. And come and tap the bottom out, make it look presentable. Maybe around this one. We'll make the grass a little taller. Maybe this one. And this one. And the big one back here. We won't do that around all the flat ones. We'll leave that one looking like it's on top of the ground. This one just looks like it's sunk in. So I ain't really crazy about this transition right here. That wouldn't have probably looked bad if the whole bank would have been that way. Alright, I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to do that right quick. It won't take but a second to do that. I'm just going to take some brown. And I'm going to come in here. And I'm just going to start. I'm going to make this whole bank turn down like that. That way it'll look steep. It'll look like that's what's holding the water in. I kind of like that. Since this is such a dark color, this Van Dyke brown, it'll take over all that green stuff, so you won't even be able to tell that it was there. Yeah, I think that's gonna look a lot better when we highlight it. I really do. Cause right over here we can start just pulling straight down over here. Oh, I like this so much better. Yeah. This looks more like a bank to me. In fact, we can, now that we did that, we can just go up here and straighten it all out. All the way down. You don't have to have that little turn in it now. We just pull it all straight down. Just like so. And then knock some of that paint out. Come up here and pick us up some white. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go ahead and mix a little bit of yellow ochre in this white this time. About like so. And we'll just come up here and just lightly drag it down in places. Just like so. Just like that. Just to kind of give it a color in here. That's all we're looking for. And this didn't take real long to do. Sometimes the paint just goes to talking to you, and you have to listen to what it's saying. And this one was definitely talking. That bank just did not look right. I wanted to go another direction, so. Now that looks more like a little cliff wall sitting down in the water. And you can always come in there with a little bit of land and clean that up if you wanted to. But we're gonna clean it up with some more water. So I'm gonna go back and get this fan brush we was using a minute ago. And I'm gonna come into the white and a little bit of the blue again. Then I'll just come right up here and just start putting that water up against the bank like so. Some places I'll go in a little further and some places I'll stay out. That way it'll give it a little shape to our bank back there. And it'll even pull some of that dark out in places. But just keep it level. Remember that. And we'll come back in here and clean that up a little bit. Like so. Alright. Then knock some of that color off the brush. Come back up here and start pulling it on out of the water. Just like so. Yeah, I like that better. That looks more like a seawall now. Alright. If you end up with a bank like that, sometimes it's hard to use your knife to put in a water line. I'm going to show you another way of doing it. Take your script liner, get it good and covered and thinner, and then go over to your white and get you a little bit of white on it. Now you got to keep your water line straight. So when you come up here with your water line, just pull it across here straight. Straight as you can. And if you get to a spot back in here to where it runs out of where you can't be straight anymore, just make little pulls until you pull out straight again, and then just bring it down until you run out of room to do that again. Just like so. Because see, it still keeps it straight. Because some people have a problem with that knife. Because the way you'd have to do it, let me show you the way you'd have to do it with a knife. You have to get your little paint on it. And when you come in over here and you want to, well, let's get off this wood first. You want to just come in here and you want to scrape it and keep it pulled down with the direction you're going, like so. You kind of have to work it that way to make it look like it's working its way up to the bank. See how it's doing that? About like so. And this really, really works if you, like if you're doing a beach scene or something. Like say you wanted to take this and push it up in here and make it look like it sinks back in there a little ways. You can do that with the knife. See how that bank looks like it turns and goes back up in there? You can do that. You can do it just about anywhere in this painting you want to do it. You know, you can come in here and work your way back out. You just have to keep it. You just have to keep it level. And when I say level, I'm not talking about turning it, you know, and following it. I'm talking about level. The part you're working with up here always has to stay level. Even though you're going up into that bank like that, you still want to hold your knife blade level when you do it. Just like that. Just like that. I'm actually scraping down to the white of the canvas, which is fine too. It's actually looking pretty good. That's all you got to do. I mean, to make it look like water sitting there. Alright, then we got to put a little bit of highlight on our rocks that's in the water. And I want to do that with that little small brush we got. We'll use the white and the brown color we had made up a while ago. And we'll just come up across the top of it here and just put just a little bit of highlight on it. Just enough to be seen, that's all it takes. Just to know it's a rock. Just like so. And then across your big one here. Just enough to know it's a rock. That's all we're looking for. We'll do this one. And this one. Okay. And then we'll take the same little brush and we'll come right up under our rock here and we'll pull some of the color down under it. Just very little. Don't take much. Just pull some of it down and give it that roundness. I ain't liking the way this brush is doing it. So I'll put that back to thinner for now, and I will pick up, let's just do it with this one. Alright, come up here and get a little color. Come up here and just pull this down like so. And right here like so. We're just putting us a little reflection of the rock in the water is all we're doing. That's all we're doing. And we'll come across just like always and just lightly go across it. Just like so. And we'll take our knife again. Give us a little white paint on it. Come right under our rock here. And put just a little bit of water line around him. To make your reflection kind of just look like it's sitting in water out here. Off your rock, just like so. Alright. What's next? The cabin. That's what I thought you was going to say. Oh boy. Well, we've been waiting on the cabin, so it's time. We might as well go ahead and jump on it and make it happen. Alright, we got a color already that we've been working out of that we're using for a light color. I'm going to take just a little bit more sienna and put in it. Just a little. Maybe a little more ochre. And maybe a tad bit of red. Just a little red, just to liven it up some. Alright, we'll come up here to our cabin. We'll come down the eave right here. Like so. And down the other side like so. I'm going to start pulling this color down. Making sure we stay straight out here on the end. Just like so. Okay. Then we will pick up just a little bit of the Van Dyke Brown now. And we want this color to be darker. So we can come in here. like so. And just start working this color down. Just like so. About like that. Now we will pick us up a little more Van Dyke Brown by itself. And we'll bring it up here. And we'll bring it across like so. And hopefully, if we keep enough of it on this brush, it'll take on the look of boards across here. In places. Like so. Come across here. Get that. We just need it to look like old wood up here. You know, them old cabins like that that sit out in the middle of nowhere, they need to look old and decrepit looking like that. Alright, I'm gonna bring some more dark sienna in on this side. I'm gonna try to stay away from the Van Dyke Brown out here, because I think it'll be a little brighter on this end over here. I think the sun's actually coming from that way, more or less. So this side won't be as dark as the front of our cabin up there. In fact, it may be a little darker than that. Alright, that's too flesh tone looking. I don't like that. So, I think what I'll do is mix up a little Van Dyke Brown in this color and get it a little darker, but not as dark as it could be. Even if it ends up being the same color as the front, I can always come back down with a little white. See, this has got more of a gray hue to it in places, so we can add it on first. Boy, don't you wish it was this easy to paint a real house this quick? Just like that, you got a complete new paint job. Alright, so now I'll bring in some more Van Dyke Brown and just add a few boards here and there. I'll come down this side and this side a little bit and just streak it with a few boards. Like so. If you put a board up there that gets too dark, all you got to do is just come over him a couple times. He'll run away. Like so. Yeah, that's about all we're looking for. Just something that Looks like old boards in there. And I'll clean this brush right quick. And I will go right up here and get some of that midnight black. And I'll come right here. And put him let's put him a little taller door than that. He may not be a midget. I'll put him a door in right here. Just like so. Then I'll come up here and grab some of this light blue that we used in the water. And I'll come right here and put him in a little window. Alright, we might put some thinner on that to make it stick. But we can do that. That's what we do. Alright, that's not wanting to stick. So I tell you what I'll do. I will get my paint eraser here. And I'll come right up here. And I will just scrape me out enough paint that I can come back and paint me in a window. Then I may put one around here on this side, and maybe one back here on this side. Alright, now let's try the window. Well, I got that paint thin enough to sling everywhere. Alright, let's try this again. Okay. And we know we're going to need a little path for him to come out of the house and walk down to the pond or to the water's ledge right there. You got to have a way to get to the water. Just about like so. Just an old path that's been there for many, many a year. Alright, then we'll pick us up a little bit of white. And we'll come in here and come down this little edge over here and around the windows with just a little glisten of light. Maybe around the door, just so you know it's here. Maybe a little around this window. A little bit on this one. Maybe a little on this one. Don't take much. Alright. And we'll come right down here with our corner. Give it a little highlight. About like so. And then our back corner back here, we'll give it just a tad bit. Make it look like that light's hitting it a little. About like so. Alright, now we have got to figure out what color we want our roof. That is a mighty good question. Alright, the cabin's kind of brown looking. So I don't know what red would look like. Probably not very good. I know y'all out there screaming a color right now. I just can't hear you. Oh, I wish I could. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to know what y'all saying right now. But I can't hear it. I've started to go with a light blue, but I think that just screamed, you know, a light blue. It looked like a tin roof out there. Alright, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll come into the red. But if I don't like the way this red looks, I'm going to tone it down a lot with some other color. Probably going to have to put it on awful thin up here to make it look remotely right. I mean awful thin. Almost like dry brushing it on. I guess if we do that and it leaves some of that brown shining through in places, that really wouldn't be nothing to kick up our heels about, would it? Because I'm looking at that, that don't look, I mean, it don't look terrible. And that's by far not the best looking roof I've ever seen, but I don't think I'd call it the worst either. So, alright, then we got to come down this corner over here, like so. I can't say I'm 100% unsatisfied with this. I kind of like it. I bet that's what y'all was screaming, wasn't it? Go with red. It'll work. If you do it right. Well, I gotta say thank y'all for screaming it. Because I heard y'all way down here in Mississippi. Yeah, alright, okay. I can almost live with that. That's not terrible. We're gonna come down our other edge over here. We want to leave it kind of more red so it can look like the sun's hitting it out here. Because when we get down here to the end, we got to pull across to our eave here. Having that little red bush behind it didn't help a whole lot. But it didn't kill us, so we're alright. And then tie it into the roof and okay. Like I said, I'm not totally unhappy with that at all. Alright, I think all we need to do now, and this is just my opinion, is take us a 1-inch brush and come up here, make sure it's clean and dry. I know better than that. And just touch some of this little grass that we put on here. And just kind of soften it up some. I kind of like the way it looks. Alright, now I'm coming along my little path here and set it down into the painting. Just like so. I kind of like the way this grass looks. Because it, I don't know. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to press my luck with it. But the only thing I think I need to do now is take just a little bit of white. A very little bit of white. And say the sun's just shining, the sun's coming through here. Let's say a little bit of it hits right here. Just a little. Then maybe a little right through here. And maybe a little over here. On that side of the house. I like so. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of sunlight showing up in this. Ooh. Yeah, we ain't got much. Then what do? I'm gonna put enough sunlight in one spot to last a year. Wow. Alright, fix it, Herb. You know how to fix it. There you go. Now you really got some sunlight out there. You know, some days it just don't pay to get out of bed. Alright. We got it fixed. We knew we was going to. In fact, that didn't do nothing but help the cause. That's all. This is, I really don't know if I had to say what style this would be. I really don't know what I'd call it. It's not photorealism, but it's still wet on wet. But Y'all know how long it took, and I apologize. Like I said, this paint was not supposed to be. It just wasn't supposed to be this long. And I'm not making an excuse about all the detail because I've done paintings with a lot of detail in them before. But I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if I'm talking too much, with every little instruction. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I really need y'all's help. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. You will not upset me because, like I've said 100 times, oh goodness, I'm not done. I need to bring a tree in over here. Let's just leave it alone. That's enough. Okay. For those that are subscribers to my channel, if you're watching this video, now I'm going to announce it again in the next video, but the next painting I paint, I'm going to do something kind of simple, probably just a quick little, kind of like a little Bob Ross type painting that is just blue sky clouds, small mountain, water, and some trees on either side. Just a typical Bob Ross painting that's not going to be real hard to do. In fact, it'll be an easy painting. I'm not going to talk a whole lot in it. I'm going to let you figure out what it is I'm doing as far as what brushes and techniques. And then I'm going to make it kind of like a competition. And if you want to paint that painting and send it in, send me a picture of it through Facebook Messenger or however you can get it to me. I'll give you my email address if I have to. I'm going to put it on my personal Facebook page, and that way nobody knows anybody else on there unless you're a friend of mine on there. And I may post it in a couple of groups. And whichever one gets the most likes or whatever, I'm going to give probably, I've been trying to figure out how to do it. And since some people don't have a Hobby Lobby or Michael's close by, I figure I'm just going to give you $25 if you got a online payment plan, like Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatever. I can send it through one of those. And if not, I'll get your address and I'll send you either a cashier's check or a money order. I won't try to send cash to the mail. And, if you decide you want to take the cash that way, $25. I know it's not a lot, but, it'll help buy a couple tubes of paint. It may help you buy some canvases or some brushes. Or it might buy you a pound of turkey and a loaf of bread to eat with. I don't know. But all I know is that times are tough right now. And the more help we can get, and I'm not saying that you need the help. But, anything a little extra nowadays is help, because the world is, it's in bad shape. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all living in the same world I am. But I think it's something that I'd like to do to help you guys out. I mean, because y'all are helping me so much. I can't tell you how much sitting here painting, and I know I can't see any of you when I'm talking. And, just sitting down in this big empty room talking to myself. But I'm seeing the number of views I'm getting. And, it's dropped off a lot. But, if there's 50 to 75 views, to where some of them, are hundreds. I got one or two that made it to 1,000. And I am just blown away with that. But knowing that I'm talking to somebody out there, it just helps, because I like painting with people. I don't like just. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't like it because I do. I love painting, period. But when I think I'm helping somebody or talking to somebody, then I get a comment with a question about something I said or done. It's like real contact, real communication, and I really enjoy that with the painting. Because none of my friends really, they're not really into it too much. I got a couple that kind of like it, but for the most part, there's not a lot of people around here that really paint. So, all right, just remember, got the little contest that's coming up, and hopefully it'll be the next painting I do. And like I said, I'll keep it simple. I'm not going to try to do definitely not like this. We'll do something kind of Bob Ross's style, simple and fast. I've thought about not even talking through it at all and just painting it and letting y'all see it, not telling you the colors or nothing. That way you come up with your own color schemes. Because the contest is not going to be what looks more like mine. It's going to be what's a better looking painting, out of the ones we get in that's similar to mine with the same kind of concept. But I'll have all the details on that when we do it, because I haven't figured out yet how I'm going to do it. I may just announce it, and I may just fire in and start painting and not say a word, like 2-inch brush, 1-inch brush, and then they give me a chance to see how fast I can do the painting too. So I know I do it a whole lot quicker than 5 hours or however long this one took. All right, you guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all for joining me. If you haven't already subscribed and you think you might be interested in that contest, go ahead and subscribe. Get you can get in. I can go and look on the list and see who all subscribers. So don't try to sneak one in on me. No, I'm gonna tell you guys, thank y'all so much again. I love you all. God loves you more. And y'all have a blessed night, and hopefully we get things worked out here pretty soon. Good night.